Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Coach Chinda Chinda. Welcome to Married Life Show. What a phenomenal time to be alive, and what a phenomenal time to participate in this life today. So I want to say a massive welcome again to you that have joined, and I will really encourage you to let others know about this live today. You can share that on your WhatsApp status to your friends and family. You can put it on your TV and just get your popcorn, if you know what I mean. And then we can have some wonderful conversation today. And I want to encourage you to be very practical about the way we approach this topic and be very honest with yourself, especially if you're a man. And if you're a woman here, I want to also encourage you to share this with your husband. Okay, if you're about to get married, share it with the intending man in your life, because that will go a long way to help you to feel loved, help you to feel affection, and also help you to feel that you are emotionally connected with the significant other in your life. I also want to say a massive welcome again to the audience, either you're on Facebook or you're on Instagram watching right now. I want to say welcome. Thank you so much. And I want you to share this. I want you to let others also know about this on Instagram. We have Amaka. Thank you so much for joining. And then we also have Kele Dupe. Thank you. We have Instant Wife. Thank you. We have a few others as well over there. I'm grateful that you guys are able to join. And for those on Facebook, I also want you to participate as well. Put your chat in. Let me know your comment. Let me know your thoughts. I just want to understand, from also from a woman perspective, how this should be approached. Okay, so comments on the comment box will really really be appreciated. Please don't keep silent to me. Let's engage, because it's a practical section. Right, this is not theory at all. It's a practical section, because I strongly believe that this is really necessary. Okay, I strongly believe it's necessary to find a way to create and sustain romance in our marriages, especially with our wives. All right. So, thank you. Before I go into this topic, I would like to share something with us that is happening. For those in London, we have an incredible high performing man conference under Married Life Management and Limitless Life Pro. I will share a video very quickly, talk about it before we dive in. So if you just give me a couple of minutes, and I'll be back shortly.
High Performing Man Conference. Wow.
Hi everyone, I'm John, and I've just finished with the High Performance Men Conference.
High Performing Man Conference was amazing.
What an extraordinary weekend this has been. It's been a very powerful weekend from beginning to the end.
I wasn't quite sure what to expect coming in, but I mean, you've blown all my expectations.
And honestly, I'm lost for words. I'm blown away, but I'm also left really challenged and charged as well. When I came in this morning, my expectations were nowhere near what I actually came and experienced today.
If you were in the room, I've just been hearing that they've not seen men that vulnerable. that authentic. And I think it's time for men to begin to help men more.
I've met some very, very wonderful speakers, made some wonderful connections, but more importantly, I've been charged to become the man that I believe God is coming to be.
And look, we're finished. And they're still around. Nobody wants to go home.
Right? This is the first time I'm ever seeing men at a conference not wanting to go home.
So that means this would have gone on for hours and hours if you even could.
Because we've had a very, very insightful and a thought-provoking and life-transforming and life-changing seminar.
We encourage you and really charge you that if you hear about this next year, please do everything to attend, because you would not remain the same.
When there's another event, I'm definitely coming. My name is Michael, by the way.
If you see anything anywhere, before they finish saying high performing, before they say the man, you'll have bought your tickets already, because you just don't want to miss the next one.
Wanting to invest in whatever it is that God has called you to do, you want to register for next year.
Hey, welcome back. I just wanted to share that video because I'm addressing men, and it's important that we tell the men and tell the women that are here that we have programs unique and specific for the men. This is going to be happening 100% physical live in London on the 6th of July in an incredible epicenter where things change, where things happen. So if you're here as a wife, you have somebody in London or around Europe, why not? They can fly down. It's going to be an incredible and amazing event. You have seen the lineup of speakers that we have, incredible men that is going to talk about all everything about man, right? So the complete man is the theme, and it's going to be 100% exclusive natural man with X and Y chromosomes, not converted one, but we need the natural ones. Okay. So make sure that you go to this website www.limitlesslifepro.com. As a woman, if you have a brother, you have anyone that is a male gender in your life, in the UK, they have to be in this event on the 6th of July, the Complete Man Conference, and everything about man, relationships, marriage, finance, mental health, well-being. We're going to talk about all that. Transformation of all sorts is going to be happening. Health is going to be talking about all that. Parenting. It's going to be an amazing time. So I look forward to seeing a lot of men in that conference. We're going to share more link as we go ahead later. But let's just talk about what we have today, all right? Just want to shout out to all those on Instagram. Thank you, Anna, for being here. Olivia, thank you. Coaches, thank you. John, thank you. Amake again, thank you. And all those on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm really, really grateful that you're here, right? I'm going to be addressing the men, and it would be nice for the women too to hear this and also to find a way to share this thing with their husbands as well, because it's very important that the husbands know how to practically show love and sustain romance with their wives in this them and age. Okay. And also it's good to also let the men that are yet to be married to also understand the dynamics of what marriage looks like from a romantic perspective. First, let me just be clear that romance is necessary, and every human deserve this aspect of humanity in their lives, especially for those that are married. Okay, because romance has to do with affection, it has to do with your emotions, and we all know that human beings are made up of three parts. We have the spirit, we have the soul, and we have the body, and the emotion is where the soul lies. So you cannot remove emotion from your marriage. You cannot remove expressing love from your marriage, because that attachment, that emotional connection, that love, that thing you feel for one another should remain regardless. Okay. Now, most people say that at the beginning of marriage, you have the honeymoon stage, which is very practical, which is very true, because at that stage the love is very intoxicating. There's a lot of things that are chemically involved there, the neurologists of this of you, the physiology of you, the biological side of you. All these things are reacting because you're so amazed about this human being and you're enjoying yourself, you're having a great time. But as the marriage evolve and change, that excitement and that connection, that thing that made you to desire your wife, to desire your husband, to desire them in such a way that you can do anything to sustain that marriage and relationship, before you realize this, it begins to dwindle, sometimes begin to dissipate, sometimes it vanishes. So after 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you realize that the initial affection, the initial desire, that's emotional intimacy and connection, because that is the output of romance. Romance is to draw you closer. Romance is to consolidate whatever thing you guys think you have. Romance is to make you guys remain cemented in that place of I'm all in. It's you or never, right? And we all have that. And that is really important, that every marriage and every relationship continuously desire to be in that relationship, and the atmosphere and the environment of the comportment and the behavior and the character and the mentality of your spouse should draw you to always be with them, to always connect with them. That's the essence. Okay. Now we don't go into relationship to have side chicks, side elephants, and side babies, and side mamas, and side all that. That is not ideal, and that is not great, because you are breaking the marriage covenant. You are breaking the marriage bed. You are not entirely doing what is right. So this is why romance is critical. And if you look at the female gender, they need romance a lot. We need romance as well as men, okay? But I'm talking about how do we help the woman, the wife, this special lady in our lives? How can we help her feel loved, valued, respected, wanted, desired? And there are ways to do that, okay? And that is exactly what I want to share in this video. So while I'm speaking, if you feel like you want to share something, you want to chat, you want to drop something in the chat, please go ahead and do so. I'll be more than happy to read it out, and then we'll carry on with what we're doing today. So I'm talking about this specific topic: practical ways to create and sustain romance with your wife. Okay, practical ways to create and sustain romance with your wife. But I think before we go into the solutioning side, and looking at different dynamics way that you can help your wife feel valued, loved, wanted, desired, then we need to find out, why do we even have lack of romance in the first place? Okay, what makes a woman to say, you don't love me anymore, I don't feel connected with you anymore, I just feel like the whole place is boring, it's no longer exciting, and she's no longer desiring to even see you around, okay? Which is sad. But why do we come to that point as a man? And men, you need to start thinking, why would my wife feel like this? Why would she be thinking all this? And this is where you begin to say, is that something I'm doing? Is that something we are doing differently to make things better? All right. So let's ask ourselves this question as men: what are the reasons why our wives complain that there's no romance in our marriages? There's no romance there. Why? Why would a woman even think that? Why would she even be saying those things to you? And then sometimes her body language tells you, her expression tells you, but why do we come to that point for her to feel that this connection, this desire, this respect, and all these things that made your marriage very unique and exciting from the beginning, everything is vanished, and now you are like roommates, business partners, you're like mates. It's not, there's nothing making you to desire your spouse or even wanting to be around them. What causes that issue? What causes that problem? Look, the first thing that I can think about, Why women complain about there's no romance, there's no love, there's no connection. It's lack of adequate, open, and honest communication. When you fail to share, to talk, to speak to your spouse, when their needs and desires are not effectively communicated to them in such a way that they feel that they are part of that relationship, then what do you expect? The gestures that is coming towards you to them is a gesture of unappreciation, gesture of complaint, and gesture of blaming. Okay, there is no gesture of true fellowship and desire that you actually want this woman to feel she's part of this relationship. So when that gestures are no longer there, she's gonna feel that. And sometimes, number two, the women can also feel that when everything is so monotonous, like you are now in this realm of routine, there is no spontaneity. Everything is just in a particular way that it doesn't bring any form of excitement. All right. And every day becomes very predictable. Everything is so mundane. And at the end of the day, there's no way you guys are not going to feel distant. There's no way you guys are not going to feel that you are not together. Even though you're at the same house, you're in the same environment, but you're miles apart because there's no surprises, there is no spontaneity, there's no excitement. Everything is just so military, everything is just so tight. And if everything is so tight and so military, what do you expect the woman? What do you expect the woman to do? She's going to talk, she's going to say something. And sometimes the men, in the quest of doing that business and getting this career and doing this side hustle and all that, we can be so busy that our schedules are no longer allowing us to even get involved in the house. So the stress of work, the stress of business, the stress of running this and running that begin to choke you. And those items become stressors in the relationship. And the woman can see that the energy is just so aggressive. The energy is not soft. It's not kind. The energy is not relatable, but rather just gives you this energy that repels you away. So this stress and busyness in your marriage as a man will make you not to prioritize her, will make you not to prioritize your relationship. And because you're not prioritizing the relationship, the practicality of her feeling that she's needed, she's valued, she's wanted will disappear. And at the end, it will look as if you are neglecting her. Why? Because you're so busy chasing a lot of things and she's no longer part of the plan. That can be a very big problem. What about unresolved conflicts? Sometimes you have this misunderstanding or argument, you have this um, aspect of your relationship where conflict continues to linger. And because you've not find a way to resolve them, the entire stuff goes on and on and on and on. And then the tensions and the distancing. And between both of you, sometimes you sleep in different rooms. And that happens for a long time. Sometimes you don't even want to talk. The entire thing begin to challenge the culture of romance in your marriage and relationship. And it becomes very difficult for you to actually feel comfortable in that environment. The same thing with a woman, right? Because this thing she keep talking about has not been addressed. So there is no way the environment will allow excitement or love or affection to be there. And sometimes the wife will say that I don't feel appreciated. She puts so much effort in many things. Or even when she tries anything, the only thing you do is condemn, you judge, you complain. Well, that is gonna dampens the wife's spirit. And at the end, even her own way of doing things is not even appreciated. And you're not even taking it very seriously. How do you expect your wife to actually feel loved and wanted? because at the end of the day, there's no gratitude from you, there's no admirations from you. Sometimes the wife they say, "Oh, you've not complimented me today. Oh, you've not said this about me today. All this and that," and they are desiring these things. Well, at the end of the day, they don't have a boyfriend. They don't have all the side horses out there, and now they have you in the house, and they can't even feel like the person in their life actually make them feel special. That can become a challenge. That can become if difficulties in the relationship, in the marriage, that can make the marriage begin to feel a little bit uncomfortable. And as a coach, sometimes I hear the wives they talk about external influences, and this is where influences are just affecting the relationship. External intruders affecting relationships, and you're not able to fully be present, and you're not able to fully commit. And sometimes these influences from outside, they bring different perspective to you guys, they bring different expectations from you guys, they bring different norms and all sorts of things. And at the end, they begin to define certain things in your life, in your marriage, in your relationship, that is very, very unrealistic. And if you're not careful and sensitive, you'll be pressured into conforming to all these ideals and standards and expectations and all that. And that will not even favor the relationship and marriage. And so the woman will be feeling, this is too much. This is too hard. I don't think I'm able to do this. I don't think I'm able to continue like this. So as a result of that, it is critical, it's very, very important that the man also realizes and knows that marriage and relationship is important to the woman. And if the woman is feeling that all these things outside that you are hearing, that you are bringing in, and you are quizzing, and you are trying to drive points to the woman, even without being sensitive, without even trying to talk it in a very calm, relatable, and loving way, that is going to create a lot of tension in the marriage and in the relationship. Some other women might also say that the physical intimacy is not great. If you are someone that you're supposed to fulfill your wife love making desires and needs, but it's not being done properly for whatever reason, you're not taking time to make the woman feel special or make the body get ready for whatever action you want to engage, and you just do whatever you want to do without any affection towards the woman, that can be a challenge as well. All right. And when you as a man even neglect self-care, you're not even looking after yourself. Sometimes the man is smelling, right? Smelling with all kind of odors from sweat, from food, from outside, from all sorts. And then you want the woman to be comfortable around you. Sometimes they don't even take shower regularly, which is sad, okay? Because they have a particular smell that uh, just turns the woman off. Okay. So look after yourself and also your mental health. Look after your mental health. If you're not doing that, the woman can see, and the man can become to be unattractive towards the woman. And at the end of the day, there's no way she's gonna feel romance towards you as a man. So this is why it's very important when the woman is complaining, I don't feel love, I don't feel desired, and this and that. And instead of you to just sit down and think about it and just examine the dynamics of the relationships and what is going on there, you straight up say, oh, but I've tried this, but I've done this, but I've done that. You're not even trying to listen to understand. You're just looking for a way to attack back and become defensive. Well, this is just going to linger in your marriage and relationship over and over again. Maybe you guys might just experience romance once a year or once in 1 month, right? Because you're not just looking at ways to try to bring your relationship to the place where everybody is comfortable and excited to be in that marriage. So when that is happening, then it tells you something, that you are doing something that isn't right as a man. And it's good for you guys to actually talk about it when things are a little bit different. And if you think about it as a man, you know, how would romance look like? Because we're talking about romance now, and this is very common with many women, but it's important to also Study your wife. It's important to study the woman in your life. Try to understand her likes, their dislikes. Try to understand love language. Try to help her as well to know exactly what romance looks like to a wife, to a woman. So I've tried to look at a lot of things from from different perspective, that you as a man, what are the things that you do or you can see in your wife or in the marriage, and it tells you, okay, romance is here. Because if you know what it is and you're no longer seeing those things, then there's something that you're not doing right. There's something that needs to be fixed. So one key thing that shows that romance is in the marriage and relationship is thoughtfulness. Thoughtfulness. You see, romance to a wife, to a woman, it's important that the man is very thoughtful, the man is very considerate, the man is very friendly, and the man is very tolerating towards her needs and desires. That shows that romance is there. Now, this can include all sorts of gestures, all sorts of things that you know that the woman likes, the woman desires. So, whether it's a gift, whether it's a massage, whatever you do, there is a thought. You're actually putting thought into it. It doesn't have to be super expensive, it doesn't have to be elaborate stuff, but just think about your wife. What is this thing that happens in the home or happens in your relationship that you know that is just an incredible treat for her? Then that is to show to you that romance is there. So you ask yourself as a man, are you thoughtful? Are you thoughtful in displaying and expressing these desires towards your wife that makes her feel that you're present, you're considerate, and you're tolerating? Also, when there is emotional connection between both of you, you know, the woman speaks freely with you, not politely, obviously not respectively, and you guys are able to share conversations that are so deep, conversation about anything. Now, sometimes the conversation might even be difficult conversation, but there's a heartfelt expression. Someone is able to pour out their heart with all respect and politeness, and at the end of the day, you guys are still connected. That the difficult conversation did not break you apart, or the situation in the relationship did not break you apart. You are able to share experiences, I mean, memories. You're able to express it fully and completely. There is no way that wouldn't be romance in your marriage and relationship. So there's a very high level of intimacy, emotional intimacy in that marriage, in that relationship, from a conversational perspective, from a place of being totally, completely honest with your spouse, and you're able to share heart to heart. You know, people talk and they just talk mouth to mouth. Some see, they just see eye to eye. But it goes beyond that. If you are truly emotionally connected, putting your wife as a priority in everything you do, and you're able to converse in a meaningful way that brings you guys closer, that creates this strong chemistry and bond, and helps you guys to continue to express yourselves respectively, but at the same time, you're able to share anything. Now, when the woman is not able to share freely with you, when the woman is hiding something, then there's something not right. There's something not right. So, this is why it's very, very important that you ask yourself, are we emotionally connected as husband and wife? That's one. Then when you also see affection and physical touch, you know, when that is happening freely, when you guys spend quality time together and you're able to have time, you're able to discuss, you're able to share, you're able to do a lot of things, and prioritizing the woman over a lot of activities that you do, that shows that romance is there. And most women love act of service. They like you to support them. They like you to involve in several things, in responsibility and chores, tasks, whatever it is. Most women like that. And that little help, that little support, it shows when you are involved and you're practically getting things done. It shows that the relationship has romance. When there is compliments, when there's appreciation, when you show strong gratitude towards your wife for everything she does, that is an evidence you have romance there. And the woman will know that, yes, there's romance in this place, there's romance in this house, spontaneity, surprises, there's romance there. And it's important to know that while we are living on this earth, we need romance here. You don't need romance when you are dead. You don't need romance when you are in heaven. Neither do you even need romance when you're in hell, which I don't want you to go anyway. Right? So this is where we need to practice everything called romance, emotional connection. Everything happens here. So it is going to be sad as a man that while you are here, you're not able to fully enjoy this bond, this connection with your wife, and express yourself and really enjoy that relationship. So it tells you that romance is not there, and hence all this thing is happening. And if you look at your marriage and relationship right now, you begin to realize that maybe why these things are happening is because you guys have not taken your time to really talk, find out what can we do different. You know, why is there no spontaneity in this place? Why are we emotionally disconnected? Why do we argue all the time? Why is there reduced intimacy in this relationship? Why is there always fighting, misunderstanding, and all the time? Why is it that we're not focusing on what matters? Why is it that we're allowing external people to come and suppress the relationship, attack the relationship, and all that? And why is it that this feeling of unappreciation? It's because romance is not there. So if romance is there, it becomes different. It changes the game. And this is why it's important for you as a man to truly find a way to support your wife and to help them to feel that you are present in their life. I would like to share the second part of this conversation, okay, with you on the practical ways now to create and sustain romance when we are back from the break. But I just want to look at the chat and see what has been happening there. Okay, it's important when there is compliment, romance is present. Absolutely. All right. When there is compliment, romance is present. And it's also important that romance can only be experienced while still alive, not after death. You don't say, I'm going to be romantic when I'm dead. I'm going to be romantic in the grave. It's here. So ask yourself, what is holding you back from expressing romance in your marriage and relationship? What is standing on your way from being romantic to your spouse, to your wife? It's sad that some people are romantic to other women out there, spending time with them, communicating with them, sharing with them, doing all sorts with them, but their own wives, they don't have that. Okay? It's sad. It's like being a romantic outside husband. If there's anything like that, a romantic outside husband, not a romantic inside husband. So, what is drawing you towards the other person? What is drawing you spending all these hours and time and laughter and funny, but you can't do that with your own wife? Don't you think it's time to think about this? When did you laugh and laugh and laugh freely with your wife, like real laugh? Or every time you just frowning, every time you just anger, misunderstanding? So it is time that we build romance with our spouses. And it helps to bring us together. It helps to strengthen, empower you to function properly. Even God expects us to be relatable. The way we talk is critical and important. So, as a husband, what are you doing to make sure that this complaint, this atmosphere between you and your wife becomes different? She've complained about this and this and this and this over and over again, but you are not listening. You are not paying attention. Sometimes it's dangerous because you're not paying attention, you're not present, you're not helping and supporting her, and she's doing everything she can. Sometimes it's sad. By the time she look outside, unfortunately, becomes a different story. because you're not filling her bank with the deposit of all these things that we've talked about, then it becomes very difficult. It becomes very challenging. So we're going to be back just in a few minutes. Let's take a 1 or 2 minute break, and we're going to be back. Don't go anywhere. We're having an awesome time here today. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back very, very shortly.
High Performing Man Conference. Wow.
Hi everyone, I'm John, and I've just finished with the High Performance Men Conference.
High Performing Man Conference was amazing.
What an extraordinary weekend this has been. It's been a very powerful weekend from beginning to the end.
I wasn't quite sure what to expect coming in, but I mean, you've blown all my expectations.
And honestly, I'm lost for words. I'm blown away, but I'm also left really, really challenged and charged as well. When I came in this morning, my expectations were nowhere near what I actually came and experienced today.
If you were in the room, I've just been hearing that you've not seen men that are vulnerable, that are authentic. And I think it's time for men to begin to help men more.
I've met some very, very wonderful speakers, made some wonderful connections, but more importantly, I've been charged to become the man that I believe God is coming to be.
And look, we're finished. And they're still around. Nobody wants to go home.
Right, this is the first time I'm ever seeing men at a conference not wanting to go home.
So that means this would have gone on for hours and hours if we even could.
Because we've had a very, very insightful and a thought-provoking and life-transforming and life-changing seminar.
We encourage you and really charge you that if you hear about this next year, please do everything to attend, because you would not remain the same.
When there's another event, I'm definitely coming. My name is Michael, by the way.
If you see anything anywhere, before they finish saying high performing, before they say the man, you'll have bought your ticket already, because you just don't want to miss the next one.
Wanting to invest in whatever it is that God has called you to do, you want to register for next year.
Hi, I just wanted to talk about this. I mean, from the video you watched, this is the High Performing Man Conference happening at the heart of London, the center of London in Regent Park. And for those in the UK, it is important as a man. If you think about it, this gender core man, we have been heavily, directly or indirectly, being attacked in many fronts. And sometimes we are so overwhelmed that we don't even know where to go and get solutions. The society is giving us these expectations, the culture is giving us these expectations, the intellectual world is giving us these expectations. Also, the ladies are giving us this expectation, the kids are giving us this expectation, the business are giving us this expectation. We are literally buried with all expectation. Even God gives us an expectation as a man. Now, the question is, how are we going to meet these expectations from a holistic and completeness perspective? Hence, we are having this conference. If you're a woman, a wife, some wives are paying for their husbands to join this conference on the 6th of July. It's critically important that your husband is in this event. I mean, you have seen the guys that were here last year. It was incredible. It was amazing. I don't like to talk about this, so it looks as if I'm hyping, but as you hear from their words, they were completely blown away because it was so powerful, so transformational. And there were some things that were so specific to men that we just didn't want the ladies to hear about it. Some men were able to share things with us, with other men, that some of them hasn't even shared with their wife, which is unfortunate because there were so many dynamics in their homes. And we're able to see men help men. You see what I mean? Men helping men. I think it makes a lot of sense when men help men, right? Men help men. You know why? I'm not saying that we're not going to get help from the opposite gender, our wives or women. Obviously, we do that because they're great, they're amazing. We bless God for their lives. But sometimes we need exclusivity, man to man, men to men. And let's talk about all our pains and ups and downs and challenges. Let's cry together. Let's find a way to strategically extrapolate all these different departments and compartments of men's life and address them head on. So this is why you don't want to miss this event. Go to www.limitlesslifepro.com as a man and book your ticket. Wives, book this for your husband. I mean, Father's Day is coming. Let this be a Father's Day present to your husband, because they're going to be dealt with from a spiritual perspective, health perspective, fitness perspective, finance, parenting, marriage, relationship. We'll talk about romance. All that, how to love a woman in a way that she will you become a magnet in her life. We're going to talk about all sorts of things addressing fundamental mental health issues that men could face. And I can tell you, we have lineup of experts in different fields, experienced coaches, therapists to really help men. So, men helping men. This is why this program is one of its kinds in London, the High Performing Man Conference. We want to perform like God because we're created in the image of God. And anywhere we have deficiencies, anywhere we are not able to fully perform, this conference is there to challenge those areas, give you the tools, the strategies, the techniques, the men's support and backing with the power and grace of God upon your life to achieve and exceed whatever you think you've been able to do in time past. Hence, this conference is going to be unforgettable conference in the city of London, United Kingdom, at the heart of London, Regent Park. Go to the website www.limitlesslifepro.com. Book your ticket, share with your brother, share with your fiancé, share with men around. Let them come because we're going to have exclusivity. Men helping men. Oh, wow. That's going to be amazing. All right. I can't wait for that. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Now, let's go to the final part of this life we're having today. Now, what are the practical ways that a man can create and sustain romance with his wife? How can we actually do that on a daily basis? How can we actually support our wives? How can we do it practically? How can we make it real? How can we show it? Because when we say practical, it has to be real. You need to practice it. You need to do it in your marriage and relationship. Okay? So when we talk about expressing affection, for whatever reason, why hugging? I mean, I don't want to go into the scientific benefit of that. It's going to take a lot of time. Hugging is healing. Hugging can really do a lot in your marriage and relationship. And you know what? Hugging your wife is free. You don't even have to pay for it. It's free. Holding hands is free. Kissing is free. Showing affection is free. Massaging your wife is free because it's your wife, isn't it? Show affection from your heart, genuine affection. And that affection should come from a heart of love with huge appreciation. Appreciate your wife. Really important. These are practical ways that you can actually show that affection because it gives her that confidence and assurance that the man is here, the man is present. Do you also know that just cooking for your wife is affectionate, or eating dinner together is affectionate? Just leaving the laptop and just doing something is affectionate. Going for a walk is affectionate. Whatever you can do to practically show love, express affection to your wife That's what we're talking about. That is how you build it as a man. Sometimes I wonder, some men are so spiritual, they are just so in the heavenly places that they forget that in heaven you don't cook for your wife. They forget that in heaven you don't hug your wife, kiss your wife. All right. In heaven, you don't begin to take a walk or doing all the swimming together, massaging together. You don't do all that. So the fact that you are in the heavens, but you live on earth, let's practice this before we go over there. Don't deny your wife affection in the name that you are in the heavens. Because the wife is still human. You are still human. The man is made of spirit, soul, and body. And I told you that romance sits from the core part of you, which is your soul. And then the body experiences these sensations, these affections as well. And the heart actually feels it. So be practical about these things. Don't over spiritualize it. Be practical, because whatever you do, you are doing it unto the Lord. Okay? So if you kiss your wife, it's unto the Lord. You hug, it's unto the Lord. You cook for her, you massage, it's unto the Lord. You support, you go for work, it's unto the Lord. You guys sit down together to talk and watch a movie and eat popcorn, it's unto the Lord. Right? That's so true. Number two, compliment your wife. Tell your wife how, I think this one is very common, beautiful she looks. Sometimes they will even remind you, you have not told me that this dress is nice. You have not told me that I'm beautiful. You have not said this to me. You have not said this to me. And at the end of the day, they're feeling that you're not admiring them. And you might be there and say, well, I've already said it in my heart. Is she a mind reader now? Is she all knowing to know what is in your heart? So say it out from tonight. Go and hold her hand, hug her, appreciate her, thank you for what you do, and be sincere about it. Compliment. It's sad that most women receive compliments only from men outside, from their colleagues at work, their boss, their friends outside. Their husband cannot even compliment. And it surprises me because the man is not dumb. He's got mouth. He speaks. Even if it is, he can write it out. You can use sign language. So it's very important to compliment your wife. It's really, really important for her to truly know that, yes, she looks great. Yeah, you're also appreciative of the grace of God in her life. Really, really important. Number three, plan surprise dates together. Right? Do something that is spontaneous. Do something outside the box. Either in a restaurant, do that. It's unto the Lord. Plan a weekend getaway. It's unto the Lord. Do you know why some marriages now, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and they're not connected? Because they don't have time to be in a place together. I know you have kids, but can you plan something that is just both of you? Some of us men were so attached to our children in such a way that the wife is not even considered in anything. And you're forgetting that without the wife, the kids doesn't even exist. Or even if you adopted them, there's a woman that brought this woman into the life. So it is important for you as a man, plan something. Look at her schedules, talk about it, look for a way to find out, and just maybe one night somewhere in the hotel or go to a restaurant or do something together, because it goes a way to help the marriage to be stronger, right? Really, really important. And then the other one is listen actively. Practicing listening skills is very important because the woman is going to talk, she's going to speak, she's going to share. So are you listening? Are you showing genuine interest in her feelings, her thoughts, her experiences? Because this will definitely foster a lot of connection and intimacy in your relationship. If you're a man that is always distracted, maybe with your mobile phone, with your laptop, you're distracted with the TV, and you're not able to focus when your wife is sharing something very important or is asking you for you guys to talk, you don't have time, well, you're just pushing that woman away. You're not making that woman to be present. And at the end of the day, you will face the consequences of emotional distance and emotional lack of connection. Okay. The other one I also see that can help to practice romance in that relationship. People think, helping at home is not romantic. Most wives, if not all, please, you can tell me in the chat, wives, household chores is one fundamental thing that they might need help with. Support, arranging. In my family here, my wife is, I think, is the police of coordination, cleanliness, and all sorts. Where her love language is even out of service. So me and the two boys, we do everything by the grace of God to try to meet up. It's been very challenging sometimes, but we do it because otherwise you won't be happy, right? So it's some of these things that you have to do, supporting in cleaning, washing, anything physically that you can do to just take away some of the workload, lighting the wife's day, burden, or whatever you want to call it, is very, very important so that everybody will feel loved and supported. Vacuuming, there are very, very good things that a man can do. What about writing love letters? Because we're in a world where everything is about typing. We don't write anymore. But you can still do that. Sticky notes, share your thoughts, write special stuff in cards, occasional surprise card, anniversary cards, some special events. Write something. Let the woman know that yes, you are not very poetic, but you can come up with something about her life, about you guys' marriage, about certain things. It's really, really good to express love and affection through words because it's very powerful. And sometimes these things are cherished really, really well over the years. So it's important for you as a man to think about sharing and writing so that your wife will feel loved and feel that romance is present in your relationship. What about prioritizing time? Quality time, spending time together is very, very important. Do you know that even working together can help? Cooking together sometimes can help, right? Um, Doing different things together can help. That is also part of quality time. And it's important that the man devise a means to support the wife on a regular basis to see that their relationship and their marriages soar from this perspective. Plan surprises together, be very supportive, okay? And to constantly keep romance alive, then you have to make up your mind to be romantic. Because if you want to keep romance alive and then you are not romantic with your wife, you're not romantic in the day to day activities, then how are you going to keep that alive? So, the activities you have committed yourself to, the accountability you have committed yourself to, make sure that you practice them. All these things that we've talked about is things that you can do. There are things that any man can do for the wife. And if you say you don't know where to start from or what to do, you can ask. You can ask your wife, how can you feel loved? How can you feel romantic? How can you feel that I'm supportive? Ask. You can talk, and then you'll be amazed what the woman is going to share. And when she share, you do everything you can to try to comply because it goes a long way to keep romance alive in your marriage and in your relationship. If you do all this, there is no way romance cannot be sustained. There's no way romance cannot be kept in your marriage and relationship for a very, very long time. So, as I summarize this, I started by talking about that women complain about lack of romance based on various reasons. Some of them are man is not listening, lack of communication, no spontaneity, everything is so predictable, lack of support, and all that. And even the man as well can also begin to see that how does romance look like? How does it feel like in his marriage with his wife? So, and I told you when emotional connection is there, it's also critical for you to see that romance is present in that place. When you see that things are not just so monotonous, there's no complete predictability, there is this emotional connections, there is support, there is quality time, and that you guys are doing everything you can to support each other to build a very strong presence for each other. There's no unresolved conflicts, You're not allowing the external stressors and invaders and influences to make your relationship become sour and toxic. That shows that romance is there. And then by the time you practice all the other things we have mentioned about practically showing love, writing love notes, supporting, practicing these things here. Because if you don't show romance and affection, if you don't practice romance here, is it when you are dead? Who even knows when one is going to leave? Sometimes you see husband and wife, they live together. Sometimes the wife leave before the husband. Sometimes the husband leave before the wife. There are dynamics, and that's the reality of life. So while you are here, why do you allow all these things to hold you back from being present and truly find a way to connect with your wife and really enjoy your marriage and relationship? There is no point being in a relationship where you are bored, is painful, is toxic, nothing is happening, and at the end of the day, you are alive. When you stop giving romance, it means you are dead. When you stop being romantic, you are already dead. Because you cannot physically write a note. You cannot physically hug and kiss. You cannot physically go for a dinner, go on holiday. You cannot physically do all these things. So even if you feel that you're in the heavenly places, I've told you, you are still here. And if you do not want romance as a man, please give it to the wife because she needs it. She doesn't want it, she needs it, which is so important to keep your marriage alive and strong. And I hope we've been able to share quite a lot today. And I want to find out if there are any questions, then we can just take it. All right, let's see. Okay. All right. And thank you for the chat. And for those on Instagram, I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for joining. I see quite a lot of people there. And on Facebook and YouTube, thank you so much, guys. But I also want to say that these videos, these classes are very critical that you share with your friends and family and just help them to begin to find a way to reconnect back with their relationships, with their marriages. You can watch this on a big screen and just take your popcorn, learn, grow, talk about it, discuss it, find a way to make things better, and don't just leave it to chance. You must be intentional and actively involved to see that this relationship work. And what I'm sharing with you, I'm sharing from a place of practicality myself. Because personally, I do not love boring marriage. I don't like marriage that is not exciting. Because at the end of the day, I can only do this once for now. And that's why it's important for you to take it seriously. So let me just remind you of the program that is coming up in London that I talked about. Let's just listen to it one more time. Make sure you book your ticket for your husband, wives, and for those that are maybe somewhere around the world and you have people in the UK, let them show up. Brothers, friends, cousins, as long as they are natural men with S and Y chromosomes, they are allowed to be in this event because we want men to help men. Let's check this promotional video again.
High Performing Man Conference. Wow.
Hi everyone, I'm John, and I've just finished with the High Performance Men Conference.
High Performing Man Conference was amazing.
What an extraordinary weekend this has been. It's been a very powerful weekend from beginning to the end.
I wasn't quite sure what to expect coming in, but I mean, you've blown all my expectations.
And honestly, I'm lost for words. I'm blown away, but I'm also left really challenged and charged as well. When I came in this morning, my expectations were nowhere near what I actually came and experienced today.
If you were in the room, I've just been hearing that you've not seen men that are vulnerable, that are authentic. And I think it's time for men to begin to help men more.
I've met some very wonderful speakers, made some wonderful connections, but more importantly, I've been charged to become the man that I believe God is coming to be.
And look, we're finished. And they're still around. Nobody wants to go home.
Right? This is the first time I'm ever seeing men at a conference not wanting to go home.
So that means this would have gone on for hours and hours if we even could.
Because we've had a very insightful and a thought-provoking and life-transforming and life-changing seminar.
We encourage you and really charge you that if you hear about this next year, please do everything to attend because you would not remain the same.
When there's another event, I'm definitely coming. My name is Michael, by the way.
If you see anything anywhere, before they finish saying high performing, before they say the man, you'll have bought your ticket already because you just don't want to miss the next one.
Wanting to invest in whatever it is that God has called you to do. You want to register for next year.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, you've just heard it. If we can drop the link so that people can, later go there. We'll have the link to the website. Let's just drop it in there. And also our online courses as well that we have that can really help relationships and marriages. They are really incredible. They are really amazing and can really empower your marriage and relationship to a whole new level. So let's take advantage of all these products. But above all, the main conference is critical, and we want your husbands to be there. We want the guys to be there. Make sure they join. All right. So let's drop the link on the chat www.limitlesslifepro.com. Go and check it out, read more, and I believe that you will not remain the same. Until next week, God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much.